Yeah, well, I'm taller. Yeah, well, I'm sparklier. Well, I'm newer. Well, I'm more established. Hi, today we are going to be comparing the new Boulder N Tray to the Satin Tower. Last week I did a video on the Boulder N Tray and how I really liked it. I thought it was a great new product and I wanted to let folks know about it. And a lot of folks came back and said, it's a Satin Tower. Now I'll admit, my road to purchasing a Satin Tower was a long and windy one. For the longest time I had not picked one up because it didn't seem like a product that was made for me. I didn't want a deck box with a dice tray in it. But with my recent preference change for deck boxes that had dice trays, I took a second look and I happened to walk into my LGS and there was this sparkly bad boy and I decided to pick him up. And then I was looking at these and realized everybody's right. These are essentially the same product. So I decided I'm gonna compare them. I do wanna say this is still the first wave version of the Boulder N Tray. The Boulder N Tray is slightly taller than the Satin Tower, but the Satin Tower has a bit more girth to it. It kind of sticks out a bit further. And you also can see that the Satin Tower also is wider as well. So it's kind of bigger all around. We'll see the benefits of that in a moment. But the benefits of the height basically comes down to the dice tray. If you compare, the height is pretty much entirely in the dice tray. And I think this is Ultimate Guard staking a claim on having the bigger dice tray. This one is much taller. And to prove that, these are the new spin downs that Wizards of the Coast have been putting in the Magic the Gathering bundles in recent sets. They're much larger than the regular spin downs or D20s. I don't know if you can see that, but it sticks up just a hair. There's a little gap right there. And if I try to shut that gap, the gap moves over to here. So it's like a little seesaw. The bigger D20s do not fit in the Satin Towers, but they fit perfectly fine in the Boulder N Tray. So that is definitely a win on the side of the Boulder N Tray. That being said, Satin Tower has something I like about it. Its shape is more rectangular than the Boulder N Tray. The Boulder N Tray is closer to a square. This may seem like a small thing, but when you're putting the dice tray back on, if you're putting it on the wrong way, it's really obvious on the Satin Tower. You realize, oh, I'm putting it on the wrong way, and then you rotate it and it fits on fine. It's a bit harder on the Boulder N Tray. It won't go on like this. It won't fit and it'll give you trouble, but it's so close. But you might fight with it a little bit longer than you would have otherwise because you don't realize it until, oh, I have it rotated wrong. It's a tiny nitpick, very tiny, but this does eke out a win. So that's a half a point for the Satin Tower, I guess for keeping score. Now, moving up the box, you'll see that we have a regular box for cards. Now, this is a modern deck with a 15 card sideboard. I have confirmed, and you can see it in my video last week, a 100 card commander deck with Dragon Shield matte sleeves and KMC Perfect Fits will fit in this box. It's tight, it's hard to get the box open, it's hard to get the box shut, but it will fit, barely. Anything beyond that, no, it ain't gonna work. But this Satin Tower right here is holding a commander deck that is double sleeved with Dragon Shield dual matte sleeves and Dragon Shield sealable inner sleeves. And it fits fine. In fact, I could probably fit a couple of tokens in here. So these will fit commander decks. Double sleeved and sealable inners, fine. That surprised me. I didn't know that. Satin Tower, big win on this one. I'm gonna give this one a 1.5. Now we're down to look because, like I said, there's a lot to these boxes. I love the frosted look. I think this looks amazing until I touch it with my greasy, sweaty hands. Boulders have this tendency. It's always bothered me. It's always bothered me, particularly the frosted section, will get fingerprints on it. And you'll see these like smudges all over it. Always been bothersome to me that that's the case. The feel of the box is premium. If you've ever held a Boulder, you know what I'm talking about. It feels like thick plastic, strong plastic that can hold up to some abuse. It just gets fingerprints all over it. The Satin Tower, on the other hand, is kind of the opposite in the sense that it feels cheap to me. Like, it feels like cheap plastic. It seems fairly thick. I'm sure it's fine. It doesn't get the fingerprint problem. Nothing. Like, you don't see the fingerprinted look. So that's a huge plus. While it feels a little cheap, it handles the fingerprints well. I like this sparkly look. It's great. It does get fingerprints on the little Ultra Pro logo. Keep an eye on that. I also will say this is the only one I have, so I don't know if other finishes get fingerprinty, but this kind of finish doesn't really get fingerprints on it. So that's a bit of a win. So it's hard to say. This one feels more premium and looks nice, but gets gross quick. And this one doesn't feel premium, but looks nice, but hides the grossness. So I don't know how to score that at all. I'll give this one 3 crater hoofs and this one 2 Elish Norns. We'll go with that. So yeah, that's about it between these two. So I think this one has 1 point and 3 crater hoofs, and this one has 2 points and 2 Elish Norns. So I don't even know how that translates into winning, but I like them both. I like them both because they essentially do the same function. This one can hold more dice. This one can hold more cards. I guess it's whatever's more important to you. I don't know how to end this. I'm going to be doing a fundraiser on June 21st for the Longest Day Fundraiser, which is a fundraiser by the Alzheimer's Association. Basically, my friend Derby and I will be playing games of Magic from the beginning of the day all the way to close of the game store that we're at. It's going to be at my local game store, the End Games in Charlottesville. And you can come and play a game with me. Every game I play, I'm going to donate $5. Derby will be doing the same thing to Alzheimer's research. If you can't make it, if you're not local or you won't be able to make it out, you can go ahead and click on the link in the description down below and you can donate there to help out the charity. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You can follow me on TikTok and Twitter at FDS_MTG, and yeah, click on stuff. This show is part of the CIP network, inspiring creativity, one episode at a time.